Hi, I'm Cara Stanford, and this is the Marketing Spaces. How effective is your online marketing content? Let's make space today to assess how effective it actually is. I'm going to pose a series of questions, and I recommend that you take the time to reflect upon them and answer them. The framework that I'm going to show to you is actually a really good way for a formal or an informal assessment. So it's up to you how you decide to use it. First of all, what are you putting out there? Can you take the time to list all of the online content that you or your organization, your department are putting out? So that could be social media posts, blog posts, articles, your website. We sometimes forget our website, don't we? Adverts, PPC, SEO, everything. Just take the time to list it. So now we've got our list, we're going to assess how effective it is. And the tool that we're going to use for our assessment is called the Content Marketing Strategy Framework. Quite a mouthful, I know, but it is a really good tool. We're going to take our time to work our way through these 5 different areas, and I'm going to ask you questions about each area so that you can assess how well your online marketing content is performing. As well as using this framework for an assessment, I must let you know that you can also use this framework when you're creating online content. So instead of saying, how well have we achieved our purpose and goals, you can say, well, what are we doing? Why are we creating this content? And you can work it back through. Today, we're working on an assessment, but please do bear in mind when you're next creating some online content, you might want to come back to this framework because it would be really handy for you. So first of all, your purpose and goals. Why are you creating content and what value will it provide to your organization? Take your online marketing content you're assessing and say, how does it help you achieve your market position? Where do you want to be known in the marketplace? How does it help you achieve that? Is it part of a reach strategy to engage new audiences? Or is it being used for acquisition to get warm leads? What we're driving at here is for each piece of your online content, can you be really clear about what it is there for? Can you say to me, yes, it's for this reason, it exists for this reason? What value does it offer your audience? Is it at least one of these things? Is it useful, helpful, or interesting? Assess your content against whether it has a purpose and is achieving goals. Next, audience. Can you tell me, first of all, list all the different internal and external audiences that you are marketing to or communicating with? How will they benefit from engaging with this content? What proof do you have that it benefits them? Where are they engaging with it? And once you've identified where and how they're engaging with it, can you look at your content and say, actually, this content is in the right format for them? And what proof do you have? What proof do you have that it's in the right format? So, assessment here, is your online content right for your audience? A story. What specific, unique, and valuable ideas will you build your content assets around, or have you built your content assets around? So does your content have one main storyline that you're always linking back to? So that could be that if you're in a professional services organization, you always want to link back to one particular area of, say, the law or accountancy or consultancy or surveying. You always want to make sure that you link back to that. It could be you have a few key storylines that you keep coming back to, particularly if you're marketing in business to consumer. You might want to keep coming back to lifestyle, and that could involve nature, outdoors, active. Do you have a few key storylines? Are you consistent in the ideas that your content is built around? So when you're sat there looking at all of this online content that you've put out there, does it feel consistent, or does it feel like it's come from different organizations? Now let's look at the competitive landscape. Or are your ideas different to your competitors? And if they're not different, are you presenting it differently? Yeah, I work in marketing. There's only so many different ways that, there's only so many things that you could say about marketing, but there are different ways that you could say them, different ways that you can present them. So assess the story behind your online content, the process. How do you make your content happen? It's no good having nailed everything else if actually it's really painful for you or your organization to create and put online content out there. So how do you move from idea to creation to publishing to monitoring. Jot that down. Is it manual? Is it automated? Is it a basic process? Is it a bit of both? Who does this? How well do they do it? Is your process smooth? Is it efficient? Is it effective? What skills, software, or applications do they need? Do they know how to need them? Are they using them effectively? How effective is your process for creating, generating, and then monitoring your online content? Measurement. What measurements are you using that show if you've achieved your goals or achieved your purpose, where you can make improvements? And how often do you look at these measurements to assess, are you looking at your measurements too often, not enough, or never? And how helpful are your current measurements? Assess how helpful are those measurements that you currently have in place. So I know that we've whipped through this. I would recommend that if you want to take a bit more time to go through each area in detail, do so. I'd be interested to know, how well did you do against each area of the content marketing strategy framework? Where can you make improvements? Was it different for different pieces of online content? That would be quite interesting if some of your online content is stronger than others. And crucially, which improvements are you going to put in place first? Prioritize. If you know that improvements can be made, pick one area that you're going to improve on first. So you've just made space for effective marketing. Thank you very much. See you again soon.